Before we begin, if you love discovering rare coins, hidden treasures, and unbelievable stories from around the world, subscribe now and stay with us until the very end, because today's coins shock collectors across the globe. Most people would never imagine that a simple 1 Rand coin from 2003 could create such excitement, mystery, and massive value discussions among collectors. But this is exactly why the world of rare coins is so fascinating. A coin that once passed from hand to hand in everyday shopping can suddenly become a dream item for serious collectors. Now imagine this. Somewhere inside an old drawer, forgotten wallet, or dusty coin jar, there could be a small piece of metal worth more than luxury cars, mansions, or even private islands. Many people ignore coins every single day, never realizing that history, rarity, and collector demand can turn ordinary currency into legendary treasure. The South African 1 Rand coin from 2003 has become a subject of incredible attention among coin enthusiasts. At first glance, it looks simple. The design appears normal to most people. But experienced collectors know that hidden details, minting variations, and rare conditions can completely change a coin's future value. This is why collectors study every tiny mark, every letter, every edge, and every shine on a coin. The 1 Rand coin carries the pride and identity of South Africa. It represents a nation rich with history, struggle, strength, and transformation. Coins like these are more than money. They are living pieces of time. Every scratch tells a story. Every year stamped on the surface represents a moment in history that can never return again. Many collectors over the age of 50 say coin collecting is not just a hobby. It is a connection to memory, family, and legacy. Some remember receiving coins from parents and grandparents. Others began collecting during difficult economic times when saving even small coins mattered deeply. Today, those same coins can hold emotional value beyond imagination. What makes the 2003 1 Rand especially interesting is the growing mystery around rare examples discovered in unusual conditions. Some collectors believe a few coins were struck with tiny minting differences. Others claim that special circulation errors may exist. In the world of rare coins, even the smallest mistake can transform a regular coin into a collector's dream. Imagine a coin leaving the mint with an unusual alignment, double strike, missing detail, or incorrect metal mix. Most people would never notice. But professional collectors spend years searching for exactly those kinds of hidden treasures. One tiny difference can change everything. And this is where excitement begins. Across the world, collectors constantly compete to own the rarest examples. Auctions become battlefields. Prices rise beyond expectations. Some buyers are not just collecting coins. They are investing in history itself. Rare coins have become symbols of prestige, intelligence, and long-term wealth. The older generation especially understands this. They know the value of patience. They know treasures are not always loud or flashy. Sometimes the greatest fortune hides quietly in plain sight. Many people watching right now may already own old coins without realizing their importance. Somewhere in a forgotten container, there may be rare pieces waiting to be discovered. This is why coin experts always advise people never to throw away old currency without checking carefully. The condition of a coin matters greatly. A coin preserved in excellent condition can become dramatically more valuable than one heavily damaged through circulation. Collectors often use magnifying glasses, special lighting, and protective gloves while examining coins. Tiny details matter at the highest level of collecting. The South African 1 Rand also attracts collectors because of its strong national symbolism. South Africa has one of the most respected histories in world coinage. Collectors admire the craftsmanship, unique designs, and cultural significance behind many South African coins. Some believe the 2003 1 Rand gained popularity because fewer perfect condition examples survived over the years. Coins used daily become scratched, faded, and worn. Finding one in exceptional condition after decades becomes increasingly difficult. Scarcity creates demand, and demand creates value. This is why collectors never stop searching. At flea markets, estate sales, antique stores, and family inheritances, rare coins continue to appear unexpectedly. Stories emerge every year about ordinary people discovering life-changing treasures among forgotten belongings. A man cleaning his garage, a widow sorting old boxes, a retired worker opening an old savings tin. These stories continue because history never truly disappears. The emotional side of coin collecting is equally powerful. Every coin connects generations. Some collectors pass collections to children and grandchildren, turning coins into family heirlooms. A single coin can survive wars, economic crises, political changes, and entire lifetimes. And unlike modern digital money, coins can be touched, held, and preserved physically. They carry weight, texture, and identity. That physical connection creates a feeling many collectors deeply respect. Today, the world of rare coins has exploded online. Videos, auctions, and collector communities have introduced millions of people to hidden treasures they once ignored. Some collectors spend years chasing one specific coin. Others build entire collections focused on one country or one historic period. The excitement becomes addictive because every coin carries possibility. Could this coin be rare? Could this version contain a mint error? Could this small piece of metal change someone's financial future? Those questions keep collectors searching endlessly. The 2003 South African 1 Rand continues to attract attention because collectors believe certain examples may become even harder to find over time. As more coins disappear, become damaged, or enter private collections, surviving high-quality pieces grow increasingly desirable. And now comes the moment everyone waits for. There are reports and discussions among collectors claiming that an extremely rare version or extraordinary example of the 2003 1 Rand has reached an unbelievable estimated value of $8.6 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single coin connected to this year and type has been discussed with a staggering value figure that most people would never imagine possible for everyday currency.
Before we begin, take 1 second right now. If you enjoy rare coins, hidden history, and stories that turn ordinary objects into legends, subscribe to this channel and stay with me, because what you are about to hear might change the way you look at money forever. Picture this. A simple coin, something you may have held in your hand, passed over a counter, or kept in a drawer without a second thought. Not gold bars, not diamonds, just 1 Rand. Dated 2001. South Africa. Small, familiar, almost invisible in daily life. Yet behind this ordinary face is a story that speaks directly to experience, patience, and the quiet power of knowing what others overlook. This is not a young man's story. This is a story for men who understand time, value, and legacy. The 1 Rand coin from South Africa has been part of everyday life for decades. It was designed to be practical, durable, and accessible to everyone. In 2001, South Africa was standing at a crossroads. The nation was redefining itself, rebuilding systems, and reshaping its identity after years of change. Coins minted during this period carry more than metal. They carry history, transition, and meaning. That year matters. It marks a moment when the country was stabilizing its economy and reinforcing national symbols through currency. The 2001 1 Rand coin typically features the national coat of arms, a powerful emblem representing unity, strength, and heritage. This is not decoration. It is a statement. For men who have lived long enough to see countries rise, fall, and rebuild, symbols like this speak loudly. They remind us that value is not always loud or shiny. Sometimes it is steady, resilient, and patient. Most people never look twice at such a coin. They see spending power, not potential. But collectors, historians, and seasoned investors know something different. They understand that rarity is not always obvious at first. Sometimes it takes years, even decades, for the true importance of a coin to reveal itself. Minting variations, production errors, limited circulation batches, and condition can quietly transform a common coin into a treasure. Coins from 2001 are especially interesting because some were struck under conditions that led to subtle differences. These differences can include alignment issues, edge details, die marks, or metal composition variations. To the untrained eye, it is just a rand. To a trained eye, it is a question mark. And questions are where value begins. Men who collect coins are not gamblers. They are observers. They understand patience. They know that real value is built slowly, not chased loudly. A coin like the 2001 1 Rand becomes more desirable over time, especially when found in exceptional condition or with rare characteristics. This is where age becomes an advantage. Experience teaches you not to rush, not to dismiss the small things, and not to follow noise. There is also a psychological power here. Holding a coin that has survived over 2 decades is like holding time itself. It has passed through countless hands, markets, and moments. It has witnessed inflation, political change, and economic cycles. And yet, it remains solid, unbroken. That kind of endurance resonates deeply with men who have lived full lives, faced challenges, and kept moving forward. Now here is where the story becomes truly fascinating. Over the years, stories have circulated in collector circles about exceptional examples of the 2001 1 Rand coin. Stories of rare mint errors, prototype strikes, or ultra-low surviving specimens in pristine condition. Some of these stories grow larger with time, and some are exaggerated. But every legend starts somewhere. Collectors have seen ordinary coins suddenly command astonishing prices when the right factors align. Condition, rarity, demand, and historical importance combine like pieces of a lock. When they click together, the result can shock the world. This is why men who understand long-term thinking pay attention. They know that even if one story turns out to be exaggerated, the underlying lesson remains powerful. The lesson is simple. Never underestimate what you already have. Never assume that value must be obvious. Many men spend their lives chasing the next big thing, while real opportunity sits quietly in a drawer, a box, or a forgotten collection. Coin collecting rewards wisdom, not speed. It rewards those who look closer, ask questions, and respect history. If you own a 2001 1 Rand coin, or know someone who does, the smart move is not excitement or panic. The smart move is education. Learn how to examine it. Weight, diameter, edge, strike quality, and surface condition all matter. Even storage matters. A well-preserved coin can be worth many times more than the same coin worn down by careless handling. And now, as promised, we come to the value that has captured so much attention. You may have heard whispers, bold claims, and dramatic numbers attached to this coin. Some stories claim that an extremely rare, perfect condition, error version example of the 2001 South Africa 1 Rand coin could reach values spoken of in millions, with the most dramatic claims placing that figure as high as $6 million. These stories fuel imagination and excitement, and they keep collectors searching. The reality is more grounded, but still powerful. Most 2001 1 Rand coins are worth their face value. Some well-preserved or slightly rare examples can be worth more, sometimes significantly more, depending on condition and collector demand. Only in the most extraordinary, verified, and rare circumstances do values climb into legendary territory. $6 million is not the norm. It represents the absolute extreme, tied to unique, almost mythical examples, if they exist at all.
Let me take you on a journey with a remarkable coin, one that seems simple at first sight, but hides layers of heritage, design, symbolism, and intrigue. Picture in your mind a South African 1 Rand coin minted in the year 2010. Though modest in size and metal, this coin tells a story of national identity and craftsmanship. It bridges the everyday world of commerce and the rarefied realm of collectors. The Rand as a currency was introduced in South Africa on February 14, 1961, just before the country declared itself a republic. Over the decades, the 1 Rand coin evolved in appearance, material, and meaning. By the time 2010 came around, the 1 Rand coin was struck in nickel-plated copper and had become part of what is known as the third decimal series, 1990 to 2011. OnlineCoin.club. Its dimensions are modest but precise, a weight of 4 grams, a diameter of 20 millimeters, and a thickness of about 1.8 millimeters. Munstuck International Coins +1. The year 2010 is inscribed at the top of the obverse face. OnlineCoin.club +1. Over its production run, the mintage for this coin reached approximately 45,120,000 units. OnlineCoin.club +1 lifted to the light. and the obverse side reveals the coat of arms of South Africa, a powerful emblem adopted on April 27, 2000. OnlineCoin.club+1 That coat of arms is not just decorative, it is built from interconnected elements, ovals, tusks, rising sun, and a scroll that together symbolize rebirth, growth, unity, and hope. OnlineCoin.club Below that central motif sits the motto in the Zem language, KEZRK, translated loosely as, diverse people unite, embracing unity in diversity. OnlineCoin.club On either side of the shield, you'll see the name of the country in two languages, Afrika Boa and South Africa, with the initials of the engraver, ALS, inscribed subtly. OnlineCoin.club+1 Around the rim is a segmented reeded edge, each section giving a tactile texture to the coin's perimeter. OnlineCoin.club Turn it over, and the reverse side comes alive. Here is the graceful springbok antelope, mid-leap, its form captured with motion and elegance. The reverse was designed by Linda Lotriet. Her initials LL can be spotted near the bottom. Munstuck International Coins +1 above the springbok you read R1, clearly declaring its face value. Below you find the Latin motto, Soli Deo Gloria, meaning, glory to God alone, a phrase that is rooted in earlier designs of South Africa's coinage and retained for its continuity and resonance. OnlineCoin.club+1 This combination of wildlife symbolism and aspirational motto conveys a poetic union of nature, faith, and identity. Although initially intended for everyday use, coins don't always remain in circulation indefinitely. Over time, many become lost, damaged, or worn. Among surviving specimens, those in mint or near-mint condition become rare simply through attrition. The 2010 R1 coin is no exception. With millions minted, examples in used condition are not particularly scarce, but specimens in superb, uncirculated condition are prized by collectors. For OnlineCoin+1 its exact rarity index is not easily pinned down in public catalogs, but in the coin collecting community it is regarded as moderately scarce in pristine state. Why do collectors care about this coin? Because it sits at the intersection of design, history, and scarcity. It is a representation of South Africa's post-apartheid identity, minted in a new era, bearing symbols of unity, diversity, and nationhood. It captures a moment in time, 2010, when South Africa was gaining global visibility as it hosted the FIFA World Cup. While the R1 coin itself is not one of the World Cup commemorative coins, that year is part of the same national narrative of pride and international attention. Collectors look at condition first. A coin with sharp detail, no scratches, original luster intact, and free from discoloration holds the highest value. Any scuffs, dents or tone changes lower the grade and thus the worth. Then you consider demand, how many people want it, and from how many regions do they bid. Next, the provenance matters. Coins with a documented history or with certification, grading by a coin grading service often fetch premium prices. And finally, the coin's narrative, its design, symbolism, and the era it represents, can impart an intangible value beyond the metal and minting numbers. Given those factors, modern coins in exceptional condition can command surprisingly high sums. Even though the metal is not precious, nickel-plated copper doesn't carry intrinsic bullion value. What you pay for is the artistry, rarity, and collector desirability. For videos or content, you can emphasize that this coin is a hidden gem. For those who seek accessible but meaningful pieces to start or enrich a collection, you could describe someone holding the coin lightly between two fingers, tilting it toward the light so the springbok leaps into view, or so the motto seems to glow faintly in relief. You could talk about the contrast between the smooth feels of the coin and the textured segmented edge. You can position it next to a modern coin to show how far coin design has come, or overlay it with a magnified close-up of the letters, Soli Deo Gloria, to invite viewers to appreciate the fine detail. If you like, you can build suspense in narration, reveal the minting number, 45,120,000, as surprisingly high for collectors, but then dwell on how many of those survive in perfect condition, perhaps a few thousand worldwide or even less. Though normal examples exchange hands for modest sums, the top-grade ones become auction spectacles when you present the coin story, connect it to stories people care about, the evolution of South African national identity, the symbolism of the springbok in African art and wildlife, or the motto as a bridge between faith and public life. Link it to the 2010 World Cup year as a moment when South Africa stood in the global spotlight, making that coin feel like part of a broader narrative. Gentlemen, before we dive into today's incredible story, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Trust me, this one is going to make you look twice at the coins hiding in your drawers, your pockets, or that old tin box you haven't opened in years. Because today, we are talking about a small piece of metal that has stunned collectors, historians, and investors alike, the R1 coin from South Africa, minted in 1999. Now, most of us have handled coins without giving them a second thought. We use them, toss them into a jar, forget about them. But every once in a while, one coin among millions carries a story so rare, so mysterious, that it changes everything. And the 1999 R1 is exactly that kind of coin. Let's go back to the late 1990s. South Africa was changing rapidly. The Rainbow Nation was taking shape, industries were shifting, and even its currency reflected that sense of renewal. The rand, the backbone of South Africa's economy, had seen many designs over the decades. But in 1999, a particular minting, a small run, barely noticed by the public, would one day become a legend. To the naked eye, this coin looks simple enough. On one side, the proud Springbok antelope, a symbol of South African pride and endurance. On the other, the country's coat of arms and the year, 1999. Most people wouldn't even look twice. But here's the twist, not every 1999 R1 is the same. Hidden among ordinary coins is a version that has driven collectors to obsession. This coin's rarity doesn't come from its metal. It's not gold, not silver, but a common nickel-plated steel composition. The value lies in its scarcity and its story. You see, during that year, a very limited number of these coins were struck with minute differences, subtle variations in the die, a shift in the lettering, a faint misalignment on the Springbok's legs, even a slightly altered font on the word rand. These small details, invisible to the casual eye, are what make this coin a collector's dream. But there's another layer, a rumor that's been whispered among coin dealers for years. It's said that during the minting process, a handful of test strikes were created to calibrate the new dies, and those test coins, never meant for public circulation, somehow slipped into the wild. Whether through error, oversight, or sheer fate, they escaped the mint. And that's where the legend began. Imagine finding one of those in your old collection. It's the kind of story that sounds impossible until it happens. Over the years, collectors from around the world have paid astonishing sums for coins that match those rare specifications. For them, it's not just about the metal. It's about owning a piece of history, a symbol of rarity in a world where everything feels mass-produced, and that's where older collectors, like many of you watching right now, truly understand the value. You know what it means to hold something real, something that carries weight and story. You remember when coins had meaning, when money was tangible and lasting. Today's digital world can't compete with that feeling. Now, let's talk about what makes this particular year, 1999, so fascinating. It was a transitional period for the South African Mint. Designs were evolving, production methods were modernizing, and certain dies were replaced mid-year. That change introduced unintentional variations, which later became the identifying marks of rare coins. These differences might include the spacing between the numbers in the date, the sharpness of the Springbok's horns, or even a slight tilt in the lettering. To an expert, these are signatures of rarity. Some say fewer than 10 authentic examples of the ultra-rare variant exist. Others believe the number is even smaller. What's certain is that when one surfaces, it causes waves in the numismatic world. Collectors scramble, auction houses prepare, and bids climb to unbelievable levels. There's something almost poetic about it. A simple R1 coin, once worth less than a loaf of bread, now commanding the kind of attention usually reserved for diamonds and art pieces. It's a reminder that value isn't always about what something's made of, it's about its story, its journey, and how few of its kind remain. I know many of you watching have collections tucked away, jars filled with coins from travels, from your parents, even from your childhood. Maybe it's time to look again. Because stories like this aren't fairy tales, they're real. History hides in the most unexpected places. And every collector who has ever found something remarkable started with curiosity, the simple act of looking closer. Think about it. How many of us have handled thousands of coins in our lifetimes without realizing that one of them might have been extraordinary? It's a humbling thought. And it's why collectors keep searching, keep learning, keep believing that the next discovery might be theirs. The 1999 R1 coin has become more than just currency. It's a symbol of chance, patience, and the thrill of uncovering something forgotten. It connects generations, from the old South Africa to the new, from the days of pocket change to the age of digital wallets. It carries stories of craftsmanship, error, and human touch, all pressed into a small round piece of metal that survived the test of time, and maybe that's why it speaks so powerfully to men of your generation, because you understand craftsmanship. You value detail. You know that the smallest imperfections can make something unique. You remember a time when things were built to last, when every mark had meaning. This coin represents that spirit. So, if you've got a few old coins lying around, pull them out tonight. Take a closer look. Check the year, 1999, and the design. You might just have something far more valuable than you ever imagined. And even if you don't, you'll have reconnected with a part of history that's fading fast in today's world, because once in a while, a story like this reminds us that treasures don't always glitter. Sometimes they're hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone who still remembers to look, and for the lucky few who hold the rare 1999 1 Rand variant, that tiny slice of South African history has reached a value that sounds almost unreal. Today, experts estimate its worth at an astonishing $3.6 million.